You're still watching Ways. Now, this is for Nomai Fan. World Speech Day takes place annually on the 15th of March, celebrating speeches and speech making through live speaking events across the world. World Speech Day was launched at the Athens Democracy Forum in 2015. The first World Speech Day took place on 15th of March 2016 with memorable events in Athens, Singapore, Tawa, and Moscow. Now, at World Speech Day 2017, there were in events in some about 80 nations. Now, these ranged from Parliament Hall in Ulaanbaatar to a school classroom in Palestine, from the Islamic Center in Bangladesh to the Oxford Union of Oxford University, from lecture theaters in Ibadan and Lagos to high schools and colleges across the USA. Now, many events are broadcast on live stream TV via WSD TV. Anyone can make a speech on World Speech Day, and anyone can host an event by simply joining a World Speech Day member on the site. Now, the goal is to reach out to unexpected voices everywhere. And the theme for World Speech Day is Thought for a Better World. Speeches can change the world, and those changes can be in the life of an individual or local in the life of a village or community or school or group, or they also can be more ambitious, touching the lives of a nation. All right, so happy World Speech Day for the speakers.
Everyone.
Are you about to give a speech?
Yes. I know being a Nigerian can be tough, but you got it. You'll be fine. We are marching forward. We'll get to the promised land. We're getting better.
They're cool.
And we're working towards
Motivator.
it.
Bravo.
It's not easy standing in front of how many thousand people to just. According to people, they'll say you should imagine everybody. Imagine everybody not wearing anything, so you can
not
just.
wearing anything.
Yes, no.
How is that an
You
imagine?
picture them.
You picture them
naked,
so that you have the strength to say what you want to say, and
So you have
More
strength
like
to speak to a
imagine
naked
that
person.
everybody is your friend. I think that might be a safer place. But it is a day worth celebrating, because I know that this is an area that a lot of people struggle with. Public speaking, just being able to give voice to what burns in your heart or something that you're interested in. And people think that is until you prepare something well articulated and, organized, then that's when you're giving a speech. A speech can be as little as just talking about something you love. It could be football, it could be sports. And when we used to celebrate it before COVID came, and I used to listen to young people, students, because we had organized speech conferences where students from different schools would come to speak. It was always very interesting to hear them talking about diverse topics, right? Things that affect them as young people, things that affect people globally, and it was just a time to gain information, be informed, and take action where necessary. So
I love it.
It's something that
as
is.
you do.
She done the speech.
I want to talk about this is why you were called. Now you know.
And for me, I think what I do is I don't look at the audience. It looks like I'm looking at you, but I'm just looking above your
head. Yeah.
Until I get very comfortable, and maybe I start from one person I know.
You start doing eye contact.
It's better to actually look for friendly faces that you
That's
can
what I
connect
do.
with, because that means it feels like you have a room full of your friends.
I like that angle, because I know that speech basically is like oh my goodness, speech is like it's actually storytelling. So if you pick one or two familiar faces and you imagine you're telling a story, and let's just seem so natural and so real, and you're engaging,
so for me,
locking eyes.
I always advise people, it is okay to goof. Because sometimes when you are so nervous and you want to be perfect, you just ruin your entire speech, right? Just be comfortable.
Have fun.
Be
and
natural.
have fun doing
it.
Don't look for accents.
It's not that serious.
Just say, let's not go there.
It's not that serious.
All right, so who are we starting with? Let me start with Noma, then I will come to Alero, then Elsie.
The speech giver.
Quickly.
All right, so we have this story, very unfortunate story about a boy who accidentally killed his mother with a gun after he shot his mother while they were sitting in the car outside a Food for Less in Chicago suburb. So the father of the boy is now facing a misdemeanor gun charge following the shooting, the community's police chief said today. The shooting happened around 8:30 p.m. on Saturday, March 12th, and the man who is charged, his name is Romel Watson, and the woman is Deja Bennett. The gun was found inside the car in the parking lot, and this young boy found a way to shoot his mom on the neck with the gun. And this story is a little bit perplexing for me because I know that a gun is quite weighty. Even you as an adult holding a gun and trying to aim to shoot somebody, if you haven't handled a gun before, it can be, in fact, sometimes you can hurt yourself because of the trigger. So a young boy being able to shoot, could this mean that this boy has been in an environment where he is unconsciously groomed to handle a gun? They said it's accidental. Of course, he's a young child. But I'm just thinking, this is me now thinking even widely. Maybe is it that his father is in a gang, or he's been exposed somehow where he's seen shooting done, and then he's attempting to do that playfully without knowing that it was going to take his mother's life. So there's so many unanswered questions for me with this, and this is, it's even more troubling that it's even a child that is involved in this situation.
It's going to be very traumatizing for that
child.
Very,
very traumatizing indeed.
Can't even
but
imagine.
The father has been charged, and I don't know. It's just unfortunate.
Go to a home now.
Yeah.
That's sad. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me take mine. The All Progressive Congress, APC, is to train 250 youths as ushers and protocol officers for its forthcoming national convention, supposed to be held on the 26th of March. Governor of Kano State, who is also the chairman of the APC subcommittee on protocol, announced this while speaking with journalists at the party's headquarters on Tuesday in Abuja. So he says, we are preparing for the convention. Apart from the selection of about 250 able young men and women, they will be undergoing training, after which they will proceed to the Eagle Square and venue of the convention. So I know you'll be wondering why I took this story, and for me, it just reminds me of the conversations we have when we talk about platforms like Big Brother Naija or entertainment, and we also now trickle it down to the ripple effects it has in the economy and how many people get fed. And it just reminded me as well that this sort of happens with the whole charisma and everything that happens around our politics as well, because we're getting to the time where a lot of people will make the money that they'll probably spend for the next 3 to 4 years before we get to another election, and it's the time for some people to work and earn money. So I'm just basically looking at it from the economic value of their seeming kind of election and politics and campaign, right? It is what it is. So those two people, I'm glad that they will be doing something, but I also want to see a government that we have more sustainable jobs and not seasonal engagement, and then people go back to being uneasy and not knowing what to do with themselves. So that's my angle for it, really.
Makes sense.
That's a good angle.
Yeah.
From me, okay, so my story from the news today is a little bit not on the current affairs sides. So recently, one of Nigerian dancers who has relocated to America, Korra, she had an issue with her husband, I think it was sometime last week, and it was a social media drama entirely. And the reason why a lot of people are really concerned about their story is actually because she just had a baby a couple of weeks ago, and then last week her husband came out to say that he's no longer interested in the marriage. And today he released a statement that it's quite shocking to a lot of people. I'm just going to read what he quoted. "I am heartbroken. Anyone that knows me or watches me online knows that I am a dedicated family man to both Korra and my children. This is honestly the hardest decision of my life, but necessary. I'm walking away from this marriage for my mental health and to be the best version of myself. I must set a physical example for my children. This has nothing to do with postpartum depression. I've been betrayed once again, and she's unbothered, which pretty much summarizes our marriage. My apology to all the young men and women that believed we had a perfect marriage. Marriage is based on mutual love, respect, humility, accountability, empathy, apologies, and most of all, effective communication to understand the other person's perspective. Likes and views shouldn't be the highlight of your relationship. And then he advised men, your mental health matters in order to be strong, and you have to be happy. I mean, this is a very, I mean, there's so many sides of this story, and quite honestly, I personally do not care who is right or wrong. What I care about is everybody should just be okay. Involved. Like, everybody should be okay, because there are 2 kids involved in this marriage right at the moment. So if you're choosing to, first of all, I'm not a fan of going online to, you know, air your laundry for people to start saying, oh, what has he done? What has she done? Giving people the right to judge or to, you know, find out what exactly happened is not their place. But I mean, I like the fact that he's also trying to push mental health advocacy, sort of, in the sense that if you're in something and you're not happy about it, do something about it and just don't stay. And
so
you know,
I like what he said about it being okay, and this is what I keep saying to people: you're in a toxic relationship,
it's okay to walk away.
But because again, you have to keep up with the Joneses, you have to put up a particular persona online. You stay in those kind of relationship, and in the end, you are hurting yourself emotionally.
True.
But where I have a problem with both of them, because he was saying nothing is not about likes and it's not about views.
But that's what it is about.
But guess what? Right now, we don't even understand whether this conversation is having online is real or not, because you have so lived your life for the gram that it is difficult for people to empathize with you.
Yeah,
you know, in the real sense of empathy, to understand that, oh, you might really be going through pain because you've lived. I mean, there are some things that everything should not be about. And this is where I am having a problem with all of us right now, because every single thing. Do you understand? Bam, we don't enter. As in my children, even me, I'm guilty. My children will say, Mommy, you're come again. You know, and all of that. They don't even like anything. I think they will strongly revolt against social media. My son has even deleted WhatsApp for me. That's how bad he's revolting against social media. You know, so I don't know how we would try to strike a balance, right? I get the part that because of the views and the likes, that's why she can get endorsements and all of that. Because people like that, they live on endorsements, they live on all those views and publicity. Yeah. That's how come you keep staying in the faces of people, you are top of mind, and when companies want to do anything, they're thinking of you first and all of that. But where do we draw the line? Because even now it's difficult for us to even empathize with him.
I mean, it's just great that he's speaking up in the sense that he feels he's in a relationship that he doesn't want to stay in any longer because he feels that his mental health is being affected. So, I mean, we haven't even heard from Korra to know what has really happened. And of course, her mental health also is going to be affected. I just feel like the both of them should do what's best for each other for the sake of the kids.
Mental health, left, right, center. Me, I'm listening to it.
Mental health.
But you see, for quickly, I haven't been following the story, like you said. I'm really not interested. It's not like I don't feel bad for him or her, because I mean, it's a marriage that is ending, right? But it's just not exactly my business, right? But I also don't like the little part I've seen where people were talking about, oh, he's a man, why should he be talking about it? And I think that we need to get that kind of mindset now, because men have emotions as well. In fact, we need to move past where we think they need to bottle up everything and bear it because they are the men, right? Because men actually go through some things in relationship that they cannot voice out. Because and realize that the woman is even the abuser. I mean, I'm not saying that's what's happening in this case, I don't know them. But I'm saying it happens and they can't really speak about it.
Because even when they voice it, it's because
do you understand? So So let's just allow him express, because
Yeah.
if this was Korra doing this, the story will be different.
Yeah.
You have more people, even celebrities supporting and saying,
Like
Yeah.
now,
Women
we're not
supporting
doing
and now
anything.
nobody is saying anything. Even men are not trying to support
Yeah.
him.
Well,
so from that angle, I feel like
I feel
we
his
should
pain.
also
I totally
listen to
agree with
him
you.
and know why would he be doing this?
Absolutely.
Because he's been, according to what we see, and himself, a loving husband for a while. So
Yeah.
what happened? Something must have happened for a while that
Absolutely.
made this
And
become
he
this.
stressed on the fact
So
of
we need
mental
to take.
health.
I need to
So
take
it's
my
important.
story
Yeah.
quickly.
Oh, you
We've
have a
run out
story.
of time. Yes, please. So there was chaos today at the Aja area. You know, rampage over what's it called? A truck that hit two people on a bike, two men on a
There were
bike,
even three.
and then I think so for me this is actually very sad. But I remember when we had the former boss of LASMA on the show, I remember saying it that almost on a daily, this Lekki Ekpe Expressway, you
There's an
actually see
accident.
people dropping dead. Why? Because again, so the two things for me I just wanted to point out was the Okada was the Okada on the right side of the road, because now it's almost like a norm, and I do not understand why the authorities in Lagos State
have
government
allowed them on the
are so
highway.
much are allowing Okada riders go on a one-way. Yesterday I was absent-minded. You know, when you're tired, I was just driving. The next thing I just saw somebody's hand going like that, and apparently it was an oncoming Okada
That you should
vehicle.
divert for him.
Yes, I should move away from the road for him. You know, so I don't understand how this happened, but I can tell you for free that those Okada people, they were on the wrong side of the road,
Yeah.
right? That's one. Number two, I was just reading a tweet by some medical doctor that said that they got there and they were actually, they could find hydrocortisol, gloves and everything. They were trying to resuscitate this young man. They struggled, they managed to like hold on to some things, and they took them to a particular hospital. And when they got to the hospital, I think on their way to the hospital, one of the person died, but the other person was alive. And that, you know, by the time they got to the police station, I think to report the case, it was almost like a story. So they just gingerly carried the body back to where they found it, the police station at Jakonde. Instead of them addressing the issue, they were asking one of the doctors that why was he with an iPhone, and from there that we drove back to the spot of where the incident happened, right? Those guys, so this doctor is saying, this Dr. Black on Twitter was saying that those guys could have still survived because they were actually breathing for over 1 hour 30 minutes. So we didn't have swift emergency / ambulance services that would have gotten to that venue early enough for them to have resuscitated them and whisked them to the hospital.
To the police station.
So
They're
this
asking
is
questions,
part of
asking
you
for
you see
reports.
people saying they want to japa, they want to leave the country. These
don't
are the
blame them
reasons they
now.
want to leave the country.
It just
you know,
wants to continue to buttress the fact that we have serious lack of humanity.
It's not existing.
I mean, I don't know if it's an African thing.
so
but
outside of
it
humanity,
is
non-existence.
humanity in the sense that even forget what the government is doing or not doing, but even that
The individuals themselves.
individual
the doctor
attempts
was
to
saying,
even
the
give
doctors were saying
life.
before they found a car that could take them, that all the those people that you saw on the road, they were busy bringing out
Taking
phones.
videos.
You understand?
That's
They
the-
could not even find
that's
a
the
car
point.
to take
That's
these
the
people.
point.
Finally,
Nobody-
they found, and they got to before they got to the hospital, one died. This other one,
Nobody is even
the police
thinking
is now
in that
asking what are you doing with
direction.
iPhone.
So
Nobody's thinking in that
another
direction.
thing again, see, I don't blame like passerbys or Nigerians that were found in that position. Let's assume now that you assisted to take the guys to the police station. Nigerian police sometimes
And they're already asking
they'll just ask
why
you, how
have
did you
an
get
iPhone?
involved, or are you even the one that are you not
Knocked
sure you're
him
not the
down.
one that got
So
involved in
it
the
trickles
accident?
down.
So it's just a lot of.
It's a
Unfortunately, this is actually
huge,
a good topic
huge
because
problem.
I'm tired. You see
No,
the
it's
Okadas
too
always on
much.
one way,
It's
always
too
on one
much.
way. Like they have 10
on
lives.
my
I
way
remember
on my
the
way
time-
to the studio I just saw the same thing that you were saying.
Just
So but I
that-
was wondering in the first place, what are you doing, and then why are you doing this? Only
know
for me
what?
to
You're on one
realize
way.
that.
But before
Let's
now,
take a break.
Okay.
We'll come back from the break. But we want to discuss our Lekki toll matter. Stay with us. We'll be right back.